Howdy folks, StrayCat74 here. Welcome back to the Basement of Solitude. We're going to be doing a little bit of loading today. We're going to be loading 44 Magnums. And as you know, I have two 44 Magnum handguns. And we're not doing plinking rounds. I did plinking rounds the other day and the damn battery in the camera died. So I couldn't show you making me some of these really nice Freedom Munitions copper-plated 200 grain bullets. Because, well, all of my equipment is old. Well, except my laptop and a couple of my guns. A lot of my books. Okay, you get the idea. Anyhow, I'm going to aim this down a little bit so you don't have to look at my ugly face. Now, because of the way the auto disc powder measures work for the Lee, I can't do 24 grains of 2400. And because my only Dilion powder measure is set up for 9mm, well, I don't want to have to reset it up. It probably wouldn't take very long, like it doesn't take more than about 20 minutes to completely change this press over. This is the Dilion RL550b, or RL550b. And currently set for 44 Magnum with the little powder funnel here. You can probably see that a little better right there. So what we're going to do is, let's see, start with shell all the way down. This is not a violent action. Nice, smooth, and slow. All the way up. And then, like you have to do with most manual transmission cars, press forward a little bit to make sure that the primer seats. Now I give these a little quarter turn, push it again, and as you can see, well primered. Now we go flick with our thumb, and I can see that's going to be a little bit of a problem with the lighting there. Ha! Flick with our thumb here to turn the shell plate to put the shell in line with the powder dump. You can see, oh, excuse me. You can see these are not primered. So put in here. As we draw this back, this bar here picks up a primer from the primer tube. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the alarm in. Because when we run out of primers, it gets really fucking annoying. So all the way down, turn on our scale. Now we're doing 24 grains, and this powder, or this scooper, does just a hair more most of the time. But when we're talking 24 grains, now being off by even half a grain is usually close enough. That's 23.5. See if we can get it a little bit closer. 23.9. And this is where a trickle charger would help. So that's 24.1. And we go dump. Let me turn the fan towards me because it does get a little warm in here. The air in the house has been off, so it's 72 degrees in here and about 60% humidity. Okay, powder is in. Bring it all the way up, a little bit forward, just to make sure that it's fully set. Now, this is about 4/5 of the way full of powder. So we don't want to flick this with a lot of force. Just want to turn it. Doesn't take a lot of effort. And we're taking these 200 grain XTP from Hornady. Put that on there. Then all the way down. Fill the scooper, tap a little out. and it turned off. That's what I get for lollygagging and making videos. Turn it back on. $25, let's take a little bit out. 37 or 34.2. $24 exactly. Now, I just got done saying, you know, being off by even half a grain isn't a bad thing, and I'm, you know, fiddling with tenths of a grain. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put another shell in there. Well, we'll do these two as proof of functionality. I'll get them both bulleted. Set. And drop. You can see the cannel lowers right along there. There's our primer, and it is very full of powder. So now that I've done fucked up a couple times, well, let's do a really shiny brand new brass one. There we go. Nice and shiny. So, resize, prime, flick, shell, down, turn the scale back on, $24 exactly. Primer, flick, set, bullet, down, $23.6, $23.7, $24.1, a full grain, way too much. $24.2, $23.9, and yes, this goes a lot faster when you have the automatic powder measure, because I'm having to stop for long seconds at a time. $24.2, whoa, 26 was way too much. 23.8. Now I started off with 50 projectiles, but as you can see here, I had already loaded a couple, which is how I found out my camera battery was dying. .5 is a little too much. 23.5. 24.1. Yeah, I keep saying it's not necessarily to be 100% precise, but I'm going for consistency, because I'm an anal retentive mother bugger like that. Yes, I know I've already sworn on the video a couple of times, so down, measure, tap a little. 24 exactly. Now I'm just going to double check. Yeah, primer, nice and level. Slight turn. Shell on this side. Bullet on this side. I hope you can see that where my hand is right over here. And just down. No, just give us a little bit more. 23.8. So turn, shell, bullet, down. .1. Primer, twist, set, bullet, and I hold it till it just starts to go in the seating die, just so that it doesn't fall over anything squirrely like that. Okay, 25 is way too much. 23.8. Can I go faster than this? Yes, I can. But I'll be standing in front of the camera, not talking. Talking takes a little bit of effort. 24.2. .9. Okay, that's a grain too high. That's 2 grains too low. .9. make sure that stays zeroed. Now what happens if I forget to put a primer in here? Well, it makes one hell of a damn mess is what happens. (24.2). (23.8). Now, like I said, I'm doing this just about as hard as you can possibly do it with a Dilion, measuring each scoop. Now, I'm going to do this one 24.5. So this is a half grain high. This one I'll do a half grain low, deliberately. Close enough, 23.8. Because with the kind of shooting I do, even though I'm using these really expensive goddamn XTPs, you know, it's not critical. Can I use these as self-defense rounds? Yes, I can. Am I going to? Most likely not. I have Hornady Lever Evolution in this one, and Hornady Critical Defense in this one. The Critical Defense is 44 Special. It's not quite as hot. Doesn't quite go as fast as the Lever Evolution ammo. We did a video earlier with shooting both of these with the Lever Evolution, and we were getting within 10% advertised velocity out of my 4-inch, and well over velocity with the 6.5-inch. Okay, we did. I forgot whether or not I powdered that one. I had to check. That's one of the handy things about this lighting system, is it comes down through the center of the tool head and lights up the promenade here. And if you need to, shine it down in the middle of something just to make sure you didn't screw something up, which I frequently do. Because I get distracted talking about guns and bullets and guns and 24.3. (23.7). (24 exactly). Now, I'm not going to put a shell on for right now. I'm going to finish loading up these last two bullets, and then we'll do it one step at a time, just so you have a better view of what's going on here. That's what it was. Okay. Let's make sure that went all the way in. There we go. Okay. Shell. There's already a primer on here, but when we come up, it goes into the resizing die. As this handle comes up, you'll see this bar slide forward. And let me turn the light back on. There we go. Right here is the little primer thing that catches the new primer to move it into positioning. Comes up under the shell, and it's not engaged at this point. We just let it go. We can spin this, and nothing happens. To get it to set, press forward, and it doesn't go much. Just that far to set the primer, because primer's a little bitty. Then turn. As we go down, you'll see this arm come back to pick up the next primer. Now, since we're not going to put another shell in here at the moment, that doesn't matter much. Turn the scale back on, because it turns off after a few seconds of not being used. And we measure out way too much powder. Not quite enough powder. Just enough powder. Then we dump, and it goes into the powdering die on this side. Now, I'm going to grab my laptop, because that's my only camera at this point in time. You can see the primer right there. So if I move this, see how that presents the primer to stick in there. Over on this side, and I have to look at the screen to be able to see what y'all are seeing. Here's the powdering die. I don't know if you can see that in there because I'm looking at the screen at an awkward angle. So we turn to put it into the seating die position. Set the bullet on there. And then slowly raise it up into the seating die. Then we can flick it around to here for the crimp die. And when it comes out of the crimping die, it goes down that little chute into the bucket. Yeah, I know, really exciting, right? You're probably all wondering why I'm standing. Well, it's because if I'm sitting, my face is down here. And I'm certain the last thing you people want to see is this face. Or at least based on all 26 of my subscribers anyway. Anytime you don't have to look at me in the eye, the better. Main reason I'm standing is because at this angle, I can't read my damn scale. If I stand up, I can see my scale just fine. And you don't have to see the face. Now, in case you're wondering about the brown bowls, these are Hull bowls. I'd show you the bottom, but they're full of stuff, and I don't have another one. Actually, yes, I do have another one in here. Don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. I had these in my childhood, and we used to do tacos in them, and now that I'm living as a bachelor with 4 other guys in the house, we also use these for ramen noodles. 2 ramen noodles fit in here really well. So, 24-2. The reason I'm using this as my powder bowl, you can see the powder up in there, is because it's really hard to get the dipper into here. Because it'd be like that, and my fingers aren't long and skinny, so... $24.8, that's a little too much. $23.8, that's closer. Close enough. See what I did there? Let me show you this. See what I did there? I made a mess. Because, and you were probably saying, no, don't forget to do the thing. That's been sized. Pull this little brass pin here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the primer out. So I don't lose it. And that'll just be yet more powder around my room. This is the one that was primered already, so now that one's primered too. Let this be a lesson, kids. When you reload, pay attention to what you're doing and not the camera. See, my face is so damn ugly, I distracted myself with that. Remember, this one's already been primered, so we skip that stage. Bullet. Burp. $23.9. Now we primer, flick, and bullet. Now, I do not advise anyone to blow powder all over the room. I have so much powder over my damn room, it's not funny. Then again, if my house ever catches on fire, I'm sleeping on several thousand rounds of ammo. I've got bigger problems. Then again, by the time it gets to that ammo, I'm probably dead already. So, you know, it is what it is. 24 exactly. $24.2. That seems to be the predominant number we're getting. $24.2. It's 23.5. Let's see if we can get that up just a little bit higher. It's 24 exactly. No, I'm not OCD at all. No way. Then again, if I was a lot more OCD, every single one of these would be exactly 24 grains. And yes, it does kind of bother me that some of them are slightly off. But 2/10 of a grain, 23.8, is in reality an insignificant number when you put it through a chronograph. I mean, if you were to do 2400 exactly every single frickin' time, you'd still have variance. $24.1. That's 23.6. Let's get that up just a little bit higher. $24.2. Now I want to show you this as I do this. So I've got the powder in here. Let me turn on another light. So we got the powder in here. I scoop in and then I tap it a little bit. You can see how I've got a little bit of a hemisphere at the back where it's not completely full. Then I dump it in here. That's 23.7. So let's give it just a couple more granules. 24 exactly. So you get a feel for it. If I hold it at a slight angle so that there's just a little half moon back here that's not covered, so far I've been doing fairly consistently with that. And I just realized 2, 4, 6. And I got 10 projectiles, 7, 8. Okay, so somewhere I miscounted somewhere. What is that? There it goes. Is that powdered? No, that is not powdered. Okay. Somewhere I miscounted. I'm going to have 2 left over. And no, you can't see that. Okay, well, set those right there. Turn the scale back on. Do you see a recurring theme here? Anytime I get distracted, this thing turns off. There we go. $24.3. This one's going to be a little light. A full grain light. $23.9. Nope, it just clicked over to 24. 24.1. 24. Okay. $24.2. That's 21.8. 24.7. 24.1. There we go. $23.8. $24.1. That means we have 6 primers left. But we only have one more projectile to use. As I said, the numbers came out a little weird the other day. Did we powder? Let's double check. We did not powder. So, scale is still on. You can see how little powder we have in here, but we only have 2 more shells, and that's going to be way too much for those 2 shells. And that's going to be way too much for that 1 shell. So we trickle it back in. $23.9, no, 24, no, $23.9, okay. Primer, flick. Now we're out of shells. So this can get set out of the way. Last one. Dig a little deep here. And just for anal retentive sakes, $24 exactly. Now we don't push forward because we don't have an empty shell here, but we are going to put the last projectile, well, I got 2 more over here, but who's counting, onto my last empty shell. Well, it's not empty anymore. There, 48 or 50. Actually, that was 48. I had counted these, and I had 50 of those. So I'd have to grab out 2 more brass. Now, something a lot of people have told me over the years is never put that leftover powder back in your container. I'm not going to argue with them. Right at the moment, powder is $30 a pound. That's 7,000 grains. And if I had a calculator handy, I do on my phone. $7,000 divided by 24 is 291 shells that we'd be able to make with 1 pound of 2,400. There's probably 2 or 3 bullets worth in there. Probably 2.5. Well, you can't load a half. For a half, I would throw it away. But, you know, right at the moment, I'm unemployed and broke, so do not do this at home. And we've got a couple of more primers left. I'm going to leave them in there for right now because I've never heard of primers getting contaminated through oxygen exposure, but I am going to stop this because we're at 41 minutes of me screwing around with my Dilion 550 reloading press. We took way too much time, and I did a lot of talking, and I've made a couple of mistakes. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, send me money, because I desperately need it. The XTPs on here are expensive. The 2400, like I said, that's running $30 to $35 a pound right now. Reloading is expensive to get set up. Once you're set up, it's just, you know, maintenance costs of components. I have, just out of screen here, a whole bunch of cast lead that I'd done the other day, and those are red dot. Don't use my recipe for those. Only stick with the book. I've fired these a lot. I've put them through a chronograph. I know exactly what I'm dealing with on those. So, be safe, be sane. Well, in my case, that's a little hard to do. Like, subscribe to the video, share with your friends, and thank you very kindly. Where's the... Oh, there's my little mouse thing.